This is the Grow Your Clinic podcast from Clinic Mastery. We help progressive health professionals to lead inspired teams, transform client experiences, and build clinics for good. Now, it's time to grow your clinic.
Welcome to the Grow Your Clinic podcast. My name is Ben Lynch. Today, we're going to be talking about an element of your mentoring that can allow you to be more outcomes focused and make traction on your actual mentoring. We use a thing called a focus sheet. We actually use it with all of the clinic owners that we work with inside the Business Academy and Elevate, but it's something that we get them to do with their team members, in particular their therapists or practitioners, but definitely this can span across into working with your admin teams. The focus sheet is a form, like a survey form. We like to use Google Forms, but you can use anything like that to ask a number of questions, really refined questions over time, that the person on your team that you are working with, that you are mentoring, can give some considered and deep thought prior to the mentoring session, so that when they show up, they're super clear about what they want to get out of this session and in the weeks and months following, and that you, the mentor, can also be on the same page, quite literally, as to what you're going to be discussing and perhaps where the opportunities are in your mentoring, rather than just rocking up to a time and going, all right, what's on your mind? And trying to remember things that maybe you've done in the past, or trying to ask good questions, but that is quite dependent on your state or their state in any given moment. So we want to systemize this. For that, I'm going to share with you a number of questions that we use and that might inspire what you use inside your mentoring. Over time, I found it really useful whenever you're reading a book, listening to a podcast, watching a TED Talk, attending a workshop, whatever it may be, and you go, hey, that's a brilliant question. And I would love to reflect on that either personally or get the team members to do so. We put them into a form. So I'm going to go through these, and you may need to listen back and write it down. If you're on the commute right now, you might want to listen back to this one and write some of these down. So we always like to start with a win. What is your biggest win over the past X amount of time? We use this on a fortnightly or monthly basis. I'll also add in that each one of the questions that we put in our focus sheets is prefaced with one of the core values that is relevant for our business. So you can insert your core value. That's another way to keep them top of mind, front and center. We then like to go, what's the most important outcome for today's session for you, so that we know where we need to emphasize our time. We then go into what's happening in your world. Personal insights you'd like to share. Keep us in the loop with what's important or relevant now. That's the context behind that question, because sometimes we can go all into work and we need to make sure they've got an opportunity to share, hey, these are some things I'd like you to know as to what's happening personally for me. Next, we go into, to what degree are you feeling a work flow versus feeling a workload in your role? And that's a scale of 1 to 10. We want to know if it feels like hard work or if it's feeling really easy and smooth and there's a great rhythm. Next, to what degree are you enjoying coming to work? That's a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being I'm inspired and energized, and 1 being not at all. The next question is, how can we better support you in creating more flow and enjoyment in the coming months? So we want our team members to be problem solvers, not just to bring problems. They need to be part of the solutions as well. Next question, to what degree are you clear about your role in the strategic direction of the clinic over the next year? And that's a scale of 1 through to 10, 10 being super clear. The next question is, what are your strategic or high impact priorities over the next month? We want to make sure that they're super clear about how they can add tremendous value to their teammates, to their clients, to the clinic. Next question. If I, insert their name, had a magic wand, what would I change about my role or about insert clinic name? This is a really great opportunity for them to go, you know what, something's been bugging me for a while. And this is an opportunity for me to put it on the cards, on the table and say, I'd change this. Or they've got a really cool idea and they want to share it with you. And this is a great opportunity for them to do that. Next, we go into what is the clinic's core purpose? We want them to reflect on that and articulate that regularly. Good catalyst for you if you're not clear to clarify if you're going to use it in a form like this. Next, we like to say, what's central to your personal purpose or passion? Causes, charities, communities, changes that you want to see happen within the industry, within your community, etc. Because the next question is, how can we better align and infuse your passions and personal purpose with the clinic's purpose? We move along now to looking more at their genius. And so the question that is, what parts of your role are you really enjoying and thriving with? We want to know, what are they finding brings them joy and that they're really good at? Because in an ideal world, perhaps we're able to give them more of those things. Next, what are the parts of your role that you loathe and they drain you? Now, we like to focus a lot on the positives here at Clinic Mastery, but this question's important because people do need the space to actually say, hey, I'm actually having trouble with this area here, and I want you to know about it because I'd like to work with you on finding a better solution. We then go into the next question, which is, how are you going to simplify your role in the next month? Again, you can see it's focused on the person we're working with, the team member, to come with solutions rather than just expect us, the mentor, to solve everything. And we might prompt them by saying what's something you could delegate, automate, outsource, and be very specific with the task or responsibility. We then move on to them more as a team member. And the question is, to what degree do you feel your ideas are welcomed? 1 to 10, 10 feeling, I feel confident to contribute. We then move on to what behaviors do you need to change so that we can achieve our mission over the next 12 months? And what behaviors need to change in our team so that we can achieve our mission over the next year? An opportunity for them to say, hey, I think these are some areas as a team maybe you don't see as the mentor or as the owner because you're not there, or it's just happening on different days, different times to when you are going to be most present or available to see or get those feedback loops. It's a good opportunity for people to highlight those things that are happening. We then want to find out, hey, are you living by the core values that we might have here of sharing your feedback, sharing your candor? And the next question is, to what degree have you contributed your candid feedback and voiced your opinion to the people who need to hear it? 1 through to 10 is the scale. 10 being constantly, I'm doing it all the time, and 1 being I don't do it at all. Next, to what degree have you contributed your appreciation, gratitude, and praise for the team members who need to hear it? 1 through to 10, really easy to do. 10 being very thoughtfully and regularly. The next question, to what degree have you played above the line in the last month? And the subtext here is the conversations you have with yourself, your friends and family about how work is going and what you're juggling. This is an opportunity to take ownership. It's very easy in a mentor session to say, yeah, I'm doing really well and I'm playing above the line all the time, or I'm playing above the line, when it matters. Now, there takes a real honesty and integrity for this to be answered. But if we create a safe space, it's an opportunity for that person to say, you know what, I have been putting on a brave face. I have been positive, but to be fair, behind the scenes, I've been thinking about how long the days are or how much work I've got on, and I've been playing below the line. I haven't been taking ownership or accountability for my actions. And so there's an opportunity for that to change. This question really requires a safe space and a number of cultural elements to pre-exist for this question to be of any value to you. So take that one with a bit of caution. The next question is an interesting one because it can be a challenging one for you, the mentor. The question is, tell me, insert your name in the form, what I don't want to hear, but need to hear. What don't I want to hear but need to hear? Really good opportunity to open up some areas to improve as a mentor or as a clinic. We then go into a bunch of questions that are around their personal development and their professional development. And then it's really important that we end with some questions around what's your one thing, your one action point from the previous session, and how is your progress with it? We don't want to labor on this, but we do want accountability. And then what is the one thing you'll achieve to make this month awesome? There are a couple of the questions that we use in the focus sheets, Google Forms in our case, but it focuses the session so that we can have a robust review every fortnight or month. So we take away that emphasis on the annual review or the quarterly review because we need to be dealing with things in real time and then in a regular, frequent pattern every month. So whether you choose to do that fortnightly or monthly, we want to make sure we've got a finger on the pulse as to how that team member is going personally, professionally, and as a practice member. They're the three areas that this form really captures. That then guides the mentoring sessions so that you can ask really open-ended questions, tell me more, help me understand, and build on some of the responses. You also don't need to spend the same amount of time on every question or answer. Many of the times things are going great and you're able just to track and acknowledge and then move on to the areas that do need a bit of airtime in your mentoring. There are a couple of the questions that we found really, really useful for getting a finger on the pulse on those three key areas: personal, professional, and practice. Hope that serves you well. As always, we'd love to hear your feedback as to how you go implementing some of the ideas and strategies that we share with you on the Grow Your Clinic podcast. Please be sure to leave us a review on whatever platform that you are listening into the podcast on, and we'll speak to you very soon.
Thanks for tuning in to the Grow Your Clinic podcast. To find out more about past episodes or how we can help you, head to www.clinicmastery.com/podcast. And please remember to rate and review us on your podcast player of choice. See you on the next episode.